It's funny. So, to recap, since I've been sitting here talking this whole time, Nadia and Zelina have finally gotten Elmer, the horse, under control, and have dashed off into the woods, where they have finally met up with the rest of the adventuring party, who at the end of last game had just stumbled across an unfortunate scene, a very bloody, grisly scene of a young 10-year-old boy, Jackie Brown, who has been brutally assaulted, and his guts are spilled all over the forest floor, and he has a small piles of dirt kind of tossed on him, as though he's been very shallowly buried. Meraki, the large ogre slayer, is still standing there in stunned disbelief, but she's not looking down at the body of Jackie Brown. She's looking off into the forest, into the distance. And this is where, Nadia, you're probably going to spring into action and try to get your healing supply kits out and see if there's anything you can do for poor Jackie Brown.
Yep.
This is
gonna try. Sorry. Yep,
So this is going to be an arduous heal test, and you're going to probably need a critical success to have any chance of saving this kid now that it took you so long to get your horse under control.
Haha, that means it's your fault if the kid dies.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Real life.
Damn, that was deep.
Well, that's not going to be good enough, unfortunately. So you get out your bandages and you go to work trying to get everything put back in where it needs to be. And as you're working with him and trying to get the bleeding stopped and everything else, he spurts up a cough of blood, and that's it. There's no more from poor Jackie Brown. About that point, everybody kind of goes into a dead silence.
I'll probably clutch my holy symbol and, utter a little prayer to my God under my...
I'm looking around for that guy that we saw that may have done this.
He's wandered off I mean, you guys kind of have a general direction that he went, but you don't see him out there anymore. You do, however, notice some strange phenomenon starting to happen. As you're leaning down there next to the body, you start to notice that everywhere you look, there's little rows of ants coming out of their mounds and starting to scatter in every direction. And you notice worms are coming up out of the soil and starting to try to crawl off.
That's bad.
Is it close to the river?
You guys are on the other side of the river from Treefell, the side you're not supposed to be on.
Oh, the elves.
My peril is significant, so
Yeah.
I want to run.
We
back
have to.
to this.
We do have to have Zelina and Nadia make resolve rolls, and these are at hard difficulty.
Yeah, we'll go with hard, sure.
Where's the resolve on my sheet? I'm sorry.
It is.
It should be under willpower, I think.
Yeah, willpower.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably a right roll.
Okay, you pass.
I just took some advances. So that's
You didn't move your modifier up to hard. The little red dot. Yeah, you should move the dot up there and then roll it. That was a good roll, though. But if I subtract 20, you actually fail.
How many? So it's a situational modifier is what?
Well, you could put negative 20 in there if you want to, but the easier way to do it is to click hard up there at the difficulty rating before you click the roll, and then just leave situation modifier 0. But either way works, as long as you modify it by 20. There you go. Same result there. You did not pass. So you will take 2d10 plus 2 peril, which is what this currently does. Oh, 2d10 plus 3. There's my roll from last time. I still see it there. 14 peril is what you come up with. So on your peril track, which is on the first page of your character sheet, you will see a series of boxes.
I see. So I have, it says peril threshold 14 and then PT plus 6 underneath it. And then, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see. So how many do I go down?
So
I go
you
down
took
the little
14.
scale.
So the big box where it says WB plus 3, what's that number for you?
8.
Okay, what's the second box there next to it, the plus 6?
14.
14. So you took 14, so you go down 2 steps. So you go from unhindered down to ignore 1 skill rank.
Okay.
That means that until you get a chance to rest in a safe place, you are going to ignore 1 skill rank worth of skills.
So does that mean on things that are flip to fail, it's now a flip to fail?
Yep.
Well, bugger.
Because you're so shaken. Did you pass yours, Georgie?
No, I got the same result.
Okay, so you also take 14, so does your peril threshold should be a little different maybe.
My first box is 6, second box is 12, so I don't get 3 boxes, but I do get 2.
You're not 3, so yep, you're in the same spot then. You're down to ignore 1 skill rank.
Yep.
Alright then. So at this point, you're not in combat rounds, but what I would like everyone to do is go ahead, because you do this at the beginning of every Zweihander session, go ahead and just give me your D10 roll plus your initiative modifier so I can set up a turn order just in case combat should happen from here on out. So everyone roll 1d10 plus your initiative modifier, which you'll find on page 2 of your character sheet. And initiative is one of the things that's not built into the sheet, so you do have to just roll it with a die roll.
So that's the one that's under 3 PV.
Yes, your perception bonus plus 3 is your initiative.
Still looking.
Wait, perception bonus plus 3?
Correct. And it should be on the second page. It should tell you that on the second page of your character sheet under talents and trappings.
So like it says initiative, but then you really want to go over
got
one
it.
box.
Yep.
I'm not seeing it. I
Click on the second tab. It should be like at the top, I think, of that page.
Yep. Just below talents, trappings.
don't. It's blank. Ah.
What's your perception
Sure.
bonus? I thought I filled it all in for you.
Yeah, because I was pretty sure I had a pretty high perception. Let me look. Yeah, I should have a 6. So
Okay, roll a d10 and we'll add 6 to it.
that would be 13.
You rolled a 10 the first time, so we'll give you that one.
I'll take that.
As terrible as this is, I would very much like to get out of here, please.
Okay, and per Zweihander rules, that's your initiative for the whole day. No matter how many combats we get in, no matter what, to make things efficient, they just one initiative per day, and you always do it at the beginning of a game session. So if for any reason we get new initiatives, or if you guys start acting at the same time, we'll go to your initiatives to determine the order that things happen. So at this point, you're standing there with Lawrence Dauncey. He came down there with you, as did the mayor. Herbert Brown, who is I guess he's the great uncle of Jackie Brown.
I'm inclined to agree with Everest. We're on the wrong side of the river. Let's take this body and go.
Okay. Are you, Meraki, you can move and you can talk. You're not incapacitated, correct? You're just at 3 ranks
Let me check.
on peril. My notes I have you at 3 ranks.
Oh, that's damage. I am, 3 ranks.
Okay. So you can still move, talk, and act normally, except
Okay.
your skill ranks.
There's a bunch of everybody may have not noticed before, but I wore a bit of makeup, which is severely running down my face because I had already just this morning set up an emotional bond with this kid while I went fishing. So my character's just leaning up against a tree, just shivering and sort of crying and just waiting for everyone to get ready to get out of there whenever they walk up.
So Herbert Brown, he reaches down and he picks up Jackie's body. He's like, all right, let's get out of here. Everyone else was on foot, so you guys make your way back across the river, back over to your guys' side, march back up through a couple paths there through the woods a little bit, back up to town where you find a lot of the people are standing outside the edge of the town waiting to see what's going on. You see little Elsie Mae Stuntsy still standing there with the rest of the people that she'd run back to tell. They see you guys carrying up the body and they all start to hang their heads a little bit.
This poor kid. This is so terrible. We're so sorry for everyone's loss. He was a good kid. No, I was done. He was a good kid.
I was wanting to ask if there is a burial committee or person that we should speak with to give proper right.
Well, you guys know last session you guys did meet Father Enoch, who is the local preacher.
Someone
I will
find Father
suggest
Enoch
that.
for us?
He's already standing out there, out in front of the church.
This is the man.
He says, you have to take him over to the barber surgeon and have him prep him. I guess we'll do a solemn lunch and head out this afternoon to Cemetery Hill.
I want to follow them to the barber surgeon. I want to see if he can tell me what happened.
I'm gonna just go over to Father and tell him about the insects crawling out of the ground.
You tell him what you saw with the insects. He looks at you. This is very disturbing.
I agree.
And where did you say you saw this happen at?
It's very close to the ground where the boy's blood was spilled.
Well, you're going to have to spend some time in prayer for this one. It sounds like a devil's come to Treefell.
It certainly has a bad omen to it.
This could have just been as easily a man. You know that, right? Does it always have to be a devil that does this sort of thing?
Not only that, this devil supposedly uses a shovel.
Shovel?
Shovel devil.
It's a strange tool of choice for an abyssal creature.
There was a man out there. We saw his shadow as he fled.
But we should we should summon the village elders. They'll know what's best to do about it. Why, I believe Jessup's one of the few who ever had any communications with the high elves on the other side of the river. He'll know what to do.
Well, seeing as how whatever it was fled, I don't think it was a devil.
Could it have been elves? Do you know them very well?
I've never met one. They've always stayed peaceful like on their side of the river. Every once in a while, one of the fishermen down at the river or something will claim that they saw one on the other side, but they never make any contact with them. They never come across. We never had any trouble. Rumor is they live way up high on the mountain. They don't even live down here in the wooded part.
Well, let's hope they don't know, but maybe they are aware of this, whatever is happening with the insects coming out of the ground.
I hate very much to interrupt this conversation, but why is everyone in this town so nonchalant about the death of this child?
Oh, I don't think they're nonchalant. They're all prepping for what they have to do next. We haven't had a proper, well, it's a long story, I suppose, but a lot of the funerary people left Treefell a long time ago, and it's unfortunately up to us to have to do those jobs now. So we'll have to gather a few shovels and go out ahead of time. Would you care to join me?
We'll do our best.
I believe I will be taking to my room.
Did we leave with the kid or no? Are we still in this?
If the kid is being taken to the barber surgeon to basically be kind of sewn back up, and you know they're fetching some clothes and everything to bury him in, and getting, there's a few, these people are woodworkers, so a few of them set forth over to a shop where they start to work on putting together kind of a casket for him, and
Sure.
they're starting to work on all those things. It's going to take a couple hours before they're able to do anything. So, but in the meantime, the kid is at the barber surgeon, where most of you who were here last game got a checkup from the barber surgeon, who is Mason Mars.
Okay, well, Zelina's gonna probably stay close to the father, and we'll go with anyone else who'll go.
Ooh, gotta real quickly say thank you to Geek Unleashed, raiding with a party of 6. Welcome to Terror and Treefell. This is a Zweihander game, where they have just returned with an unfortunate dead body of a 10-year-old boy that has been brutally massacred, and they are trying to kind of figure out what to do about it, other than the obvious work of unfortunately have to bury him. So Zelina, what were you going to do again? I'm sorry.
She's gonna stick close to the father and help with the burial, and just gather information while she's with him.
Okay, so the parents had not been there yet. You guys hadn't seen them, but they are there back in town when you get back up from down by the river, and they are obviously distraught. And they go into the barber surgeon, and the mother can barely stand to even look at this point. She is completely distraught, and the father's really not holding it together any better than she is.
I would like to try and console them in some way.
Okay.
Let me see.
If you would like to
What would be a
attempt
good skill?
a social roll, that's going to be a...
Got charm.
Yeah, that's probably your
Oh.
best. Probably your best one is to do charm. So go ahead and try a charm roll.
All right. I will come up with what I say based on my fail or not. Is that okay? Or do you want me to come up with what I say first? How do you want?
Let's roll it, see how well you do, and then you can come up with what you say based on your level of success.
Ooh, okay.
Or not success.
Okay. Okay, that's not too terrible of a failure, so I'm not going to go too hard into it.
Do you want to spend a fortune point?
No, not this early. No.
Oh, come on. I got them up on the screen so everyone can see it move to misfortune.
Yeah, ooh.
All right.
Yeah, I think the group would be upset with me if I gave you a
You're trying to console some parents whose kid just died. What other better time is there to use a fortune point? Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean,
plain devil's advocate.
Guilted the shit out of me. All right.
Oh, hey, yeah. Fonsa, to your notice, you rolled bargain, not charmed. Why don't you try under the actual correct skill?
Oh, well, that'll do it.
I hadn't even noticed the header was wrong. Thank you, Fawn, for being on the
better.
There, much better job.
Fawn's my boy.
After you try to talk down the price of the kid's new bow, you decide to go ahead and be nice to the parents and actually console them.
So, how much for that bow there? Oh, wait.
I'm in need of one, so I can give Hagen his back.
Not appropriate. Okay, ma'am and sir, this is the most utterly tragic time I've ever witnessed. And I just and I'm hugging them and tapping them on I've got them kind of in a group hug scenario, and I'm just like, just from the short time my life was touched by little Ricky, which is not his name. It was touched ever so gently by the grace of an angel. He is, and was a most beautiful creature, and he will be sorely missed. And I hope you can get through his passing with ease somehow.
Well, thank you, stranger. You've been here less than a day, and already you were maybe one of his closest friends.
And it's just that makes my character start crying.
So the fox over crying in the corner. Does there anyone else want to do anything at this point?
Yeah, while Everest is consoling the parents, Nigel is going to go and talk to the kid that came running for help.
Little Elsie May.
Yeah, and he's just going to be like...
She's over there being somewhat scolded by her father, who's Lawrence Stauncy, the guy who just gone down there with you. He's the guy who's kind of in charge of security. If you remember. Okay,
then I will go up to both of them, and I'll try to be fairly discreet about the conversation. Like, I'm not projecting it into the room or anything, but I'm gonna basically just be like, "All right, so obviously you knew he was out there. Have you and he been going across the river, violating the elves' territory in the past? Do you know of anyone who has been? It's very important. Other people could be in danger."
She shakes her head, yes.
Okay, well then you need to tell your father, and so he can tell us, the people that are trying to help here, so that we can figure out what to do about that, alright?
It was just Jackie. I told him not to go. But he said he saw something.
And how often has he been going? Just the once, or has he been doing this for a while?
No, he thought he saw something, and he wanted to go see what it was. And I told him not to go. I told him not to.
All right. I'll then direct the conversation to her father. Say, all right, well, I don't know who it was that is a liaison to the elves, but we need to get some communication over there if we're going to do some searching. I don't want them to ambush us, or we're looking for whoever did this.
I don't have enough security around here to withhold an elven attack. We'll talk to Jessup. He's the one who made the original deal with the elves.
All right. We'll take it up with him then.
Well, that that kind of comes to me. I'm Hagen kind of wants to go to wherever they have these accords at, where they struck the deal with the elves, and I want to go over what the actual deals were. I think it'd be good to have that information with us, especially if we're going to go back and take a look at the site. Anyway,
Then you need to, you'll need to talk to Jessup if you want to get hold of the actual deals that were stricken.
oh, they're not even like in a library or something like that around town.
Jessup keeps them.
All right, looks like I'm going to Jessup.
At this point, he's already being led down from his house, from his cabin. He's already being led over towards the main center of town by Franklin Brown. And he's obviously looks rather upset and worried by the news. And he's incredibly old. He's like, pushing 90 or more. And he's
Jessup's the
old man.
Oh, we should have gone to him.
Well, they're bringing him down here. He's heard, and he isn't going to sit at home. So, his son-in-law Franklin Brown's helping him down. With his wife Alice, who is Jessup's daughter, is there with him. And they come walking down with Jessup, and he's, well, here we have ourselves a devil.
Is he around all of us or just the one guy?
He's around all of you. He's come there into the main area of town where everybody in town is kind of up and about and gathered, obviously, at this point. Nobody's going back to their cabins, really.
With all due respect, Mr. Jessup, sir, we have here is a crime. Why am I talking in that accent? It's not his accent at all.
I don't know
I
what
think
you're
it's a
doing
bit
there,
early to assume a devil.
Where there's a devil, there's a witch that brought him.
Or a criminal. We saw a man in the woods.
With a shovel.
And this boy saw something as well, and that's why he crossed the river. As his cousin said?
Yeah, it's his cousin. Elsie is his cousin.
All right. And as your person in charge of security here has just witnessed, it's a little early to be talking about supernatural causes. We feel it would be appropriate to get in touch with the elves on the other side of the river so that we can continue this investigation over where this man's life was taken, and do so in peace without instigating an elven attack.
When he says witch, Zelina takes just a little step behind the fire.
I see her. That means she's a witch. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I have a question. This is all in the same room?
They're all outside.
Okay. They're outside. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go outside and get some fresh air, and before I do so, I'm basically just gonna regroup. But before I do, I'm gonna fix my makeup a bit into the corner and get my face back on before I go back out to the rest of them.
Your war paint is quite intriguing.
It's I have problems with the sun. It helps keep it secure. My skin.
As you guys are standing there kind of conversing, you see Lawrence Stassi comes over and approaches you. Jessup says we need to go back down there. He says if it's a man with a shovel, then he thinks maybe we ought to conduct ourselves a manhunt. So the plan is, this afternoon, we go we go bury poor Jackie, and then immediately after, I'm going to be taking a team or two down, and we're going to see if we can spot whatever this thing is that's down there. And you ain't got to go. You owe nothing to us at this point, but I'd appreciate it if you could help me.
Is there anything in the Accords that'll stop us from going over there? I know we want to keep towards those to keep the elves at bay, but he was on the other side. And in order to investigate this area, we have to cross that.
So, as the person who may feel partially responsible for this boy's death, Nadia does not care if there's anything recorded. She wants to find answers. She wants to know who injured this boy to cause them to be dead.
All right. Well, he says we're planning on taking a group down and looking. In the meantime, Jessup, he says he knows how to contact the High Elves. So he's going to prep some stuff and send up a signal. It should cause them to send down an emissary, if they're not already at the river waiting for us. You notice over there, not at the witch burning stake, but over at another part of the center of town, you see him starting to put together a kind of a pyre of stacks of wood. You see Jessup's over there kind of directing everybody. About this time,
I offer my assistance for the manhunt, of course.
He nods. Lawrence Stuntsy kind of nods at you. Much appreciated. We're gonna need every good set of eyes and able arms we have.
Zelina will wait and see what the others say, but pretty much she'll go with the majority.
Alrighty. Well, if you're all willing, then I do appreciate it. I'm thinking if we have enough people, we might be able to split to a couple teams or fan out a little bit. See if we catch any trail of where he's gone. If he's headed back up the mountain, or if he's split off somewhere else. He can't move too far from the river if he's not an elf. The elves would have found him by now. So, and if my daughter's right, and if there is something over there that Jackie saw, then, well, I suppose at this point maybe it's worth finding out what it is.
Are the elves here a violent bunch?
We've never been attacked by them. My father-in-law, Franklin Brown, he started up the watch a while back, but we've never had an issue. The High Elves have always kept to their own.
It's likely not them, then.
Every
But
once
maybe
in a
they
while.
know who it is.
Every once in a while, someone down there fishing in the stream, Leonard Pinkston, and bless his soul, and those down by the river would claim they saw one, but they never made any contact.
They probably don't want to bother you as much as you don't want to bother them, I'm sure.
I assume there's just a patrol scout of some sort, making sure we're not doing anything we shouldn't be.
Yes, I was just making sure that when we went over there to meet with them eventually, we wouldn't have to worry about arrows coming our way.
Have people gone missing in that forest before?
No one's ever gone missing down there before.
I want to roll a whatever the hell the version of scrutinize. Yeah. What he's saying. I want to try and get vibes off of him and see if he's telling the not necessarily telling the truth, but see if he's saying that like in an easy tone, like an easy stance, or if he just seems uneasy while saying it.
Who, Lawrence, when he's talking about that stuff?
Yeah, when he's talking about that being the only person to die over here, I'm just trying to determine if he's
you can make a scrutinize roll if you want to.
Standard.
Just standard.
Alright.
From your scrutinizing, you can tell that he seems to be genuinely truthful. There's been people who've died in the woods, had accidents out there hunting, things like that, guns gone off, all those kind of people, falling out of trees, trying to hunt deer, all kinds of stupid stuff like that, but no one that's ever been viciously attacked by somebody and they didn't know who it was. Any other crimes that have been committed in town, usually there's a pretty good suspect pool, but this is a 10-year-old boy. Like, there's nobody in this town that would hate him enough to want to do something like this. So he seems to be sort of telling the truth.
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to see if he was giving off any sort of weird vibes or anything. Are we considered... How long do we have to rest in a safe place to get our peril track back down unhindered?
One night.
6 hours.
One night,
Yeah,
okay.
6 hours, yeah. I think is the actual.
Okay, sorry. Or does it probably says it on the screen?
It does.
Well, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
On one of those screens it does. I don't know which one I have you guys on. Oh, you know what?
Okay.
I didn't move
Yeah,
it.
but it's on that one, actually.
It says it right here in front of my face.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I moved it. I moved the screen so everyone watching can see a different screen, and I didn't move you guys to see the one that they're seeing.
Never mind. That's good. Okay, cool. I was just wondering, making sure. The old family tree.
Now you're seeing the NPCs. I was saying about all these family connections, so you realize kind of who people are, and I realize you're not looking at the right screen. So there you go.
Yeah, this is helpful. This is helpful. Thanks for making
I know
this.
it is. I got everybody at home on board, and I just don't have my players on board. That's how we roll sometimes.
Making us sound like we have no idea what's going on.
Yep, that's my job is to seem like the only one that knows what's going on this game. As GM, that's how I roll.
I'll be honest. I'm in so many games. It's hard for me to keep up. Sometimes. Super helpful.
So, yeah, Lawrence goes to talk to a couple other people, and you get this sort of sense he's trying to kind of form up a posse. He's very much.
I love posses.
He's very much getting. This is almost like old Western style, where the sheriff's rounding up the deputies and everyone else, and they're considering storming the riverfront in force enough that they can spook out whatever's down there.
My character's ears perk up at the word posse until he realizes that it's not the word that he thought that people were saying, and then he just kind of goes back to being.
Wow.
Anyway,
as you guys are finishing up, you see the old man, Jessup. He's over there, like I said, with Franklin Brown and Alice, and they got a small campfire's worth of wood piled up, and they're busy trying to get a fire started. And he's told Father Enoch to go fetch a blanket. Father Enoch comes back with a blanket from the church, and he has them take the other end, and you see they start sending some smoke signals up through the clearing of the trees.
Are you signaling someone?
The High Elves, they live up at the top of High Mountain, according to Jessup. We're going to let them know that we're coming over to their side. If it's any of their people that's done this or anything else, this is our only chance of not being ambushed when we cross that river. We got to let them know we're in distress. So he's
for the best, probably.
we will find this person. We'll bring them to justice.
So they...
Or we'll just bring their head.
That's justice in my eyes.
So you see him working on sending these up. Jessup, he does the first few, and then you notice he has a couple other townsfolk that he hands things over and, tells them to go ahead and just keep repeating that till the fire burns low. To make sure that the High Elves see it.
So is this Manhunt going out today or tomorrow morning, perhaps, conveniently.
Well, first business first. We got to go bury a young boy.
Oh yeah,
I mean, who can sleep after all that?
me.
Me.
The guy who's very far down on the peril track can go and take a nap whenever the night comes. Do we still have 5 corruptions that go back down to 0?
Your corruption should be back to 0 to start out the game.
Okay.
And actually,
yeah, we just maintain the ranks that we got.
Yeah, you maintain the ranks of chaos or order that you have.
Gotcha.
But
One of each.
Nadia, you probably...
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
You probably should gain about 3 corruption at this point. And everybody might have to gain more before they're done today, but I think you're going to start at 3 after failing to save that poor kid.
Sure.
I just keep reminding him of crap, like to roll bad stuff to roll for people.
I have it written down here. I was going to tally it and hand it out at the end of the game instead of having people keep having to add throughout the game as it goes. But
gotcha.
if you survived at the end of the game, then I'll have you worry about how much you have. But
yeah,
do we need to worry
if
about
you survive?
What was the question?
I don't like.
Do we need to worry about the order and chaos from last game that we probably didn't get?
No, because you guys didn't gain any corruption last game because you weren't here. So
gotcha.
You don't gain anything if you're not here.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So you guys will get you'll have about an hour or so. Like I said, as everyone around town's kind of grieving and trying to console each other. And you got a couple people, like I said, that are continuing to send these smoke signals up. You see that the people over in one of the shops have finished working on the box. I guess whichever one of you is... Which one would be the most... Hagen?
Yes?
Give me... I'm trying to think of which skill would be. Give me just a resolve check.
Sorry, my character is a creep, everybody. No, I'm not.
I don't think I resolve anything.
You're fine.
You kind of are in the middle of being all shaken up about what's going on. You kind of remember that there was something you're supposed to do. But you can't remember what it is. But there was something that somebody told you to do something should something like this happen.
Ask me, I remember everything.
Maybe you're just old and senile and you just don't remember things well, but...
That's true. I can't remember anything. Hey, Mr. Fancy Guy, come here a second.
I immediately know he's talking about me because I'm self-proclaimed.
You are the
guy.
only fancy person in this town. Everyone else is dressed like it's Little House on the Prairie, and then there's you.
Yeah.
So you're...
Well, even if everyone else was super fancy, I would still answer to that first because I would consider myself the fanciest regardless. So, yeah, I perk my elven ears up and run over. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Were we supposed to do something if this type of thing happened? I can't remember anything.
What type of thing, sir? I was wondering about my days on the beaches.
You can make a resolve roll now, too.
Valorn.
Fop.
Alright.
Oh. Yeah, there was, it was that plague doctor guy. He gave you guys instructions.
Yeah, that dude. Forgot all about him at this point. I'm just kidding. He wanted to give us instructions to look for evidence of the plague, right? And destroy it?
Well, there was that.
I can't remember.
I'm serious. Ask me. I remember everything.
Well, hey.
Oh, that's right. You have
what was
eidetic
his name?
memory, don't you?
Uh-huh. And by asking, I mean Dust not tell you because I don't know.
Yeah. So, Naughty, you overhear them talking. I forget you had that merit. You do. So
Hey, that's just so handy for me to have you in my party.
So you hear them over talking, and then you remember that he told you to make sure that if there were any dead in Treefell, and they gave you 2 barrels of lime to make sure it was spread on the bodies.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You're the medic anyway.
That'd be a good preparation. Meanwhile, while he's probably trying to do that, and I'm totally not going to help that, I'm going to set up some times where I can maybe try to alleviate people's anxiety and worry and their sadness by doing some nice jester things. Throwing around my knives, doing some acrobatics, things like that.
Keep them away from the plates.
Next time they burn a witch, maybe you can host a roast at the same time.
So you guys, you're gonna go do a acrobatics thing. You're gonna try some coordination to try to entertain people.
Of course. At different times. I'm going to do it, try to tell them, hey, come back here in a couple hours and, try to do it every couple hours until we're doing the funeral at least or leaving or going to bed.
All right. So go ahead and make a coordination roll. We'll see how well you do on your stunts and performing. That's actually pretty good. So you do a pretty good job of putting on a show, and you do get a few people to kind of stop and watch for a bit. And it's the first time everyone else has really seen you do anything that fantastic, to be honest. I believe you failed your other coordination attempts.
Oh no, I got in Huttenberg. I did pretty well in there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. So you guys see him kind of going back to what he just knows how to do, and that's just try to entertain. And so you see your jester over there. He's juggling, and he's standing up on a stump balancing, and he's actually putting on quite a bit of a show.
It's all I can do.
It's terrible, but also funny. Thank you. Is it cheering anyone up?
There's a few people stopped to watch you for a little bit. Like I said, they're all kind of gathering around watching him, and you hear them kind of just muttering kind of to each other. Like one of them's like, just kind of the rumor mill. They're like, I hear he used to perform in the court of the emperor. Another person's like, oh, don't be silly. An emperor's fool would never make their way all the way out here. Like, what would he be doing here? But you just kind of hear some rumors about Hagen going around.
I'm going to sharpen my spear and axes. I don't know.
You find that just like that sort of mantra of just sharpening your blades and getting your stuff ready starts to calm you down a little bit. You can move 1 peril condition to the positive.
Yes.
You're still ignoring skill ranks, so you're not back to a point where you're ready for combat. You're still pretty shaken by all of this. But you do find that getting into that habit of just getting ready for the next fight has helped calm you a little bit. Does anybody else have anything they want to do to calm themselves? Hagen, did you have a peril level, Hagen? I think you ignored it, didn't you? Because don't you have indifference or whatever?
Are you talking about Nigel?
No, I know Nigel was like, he's seen that shit all the time. He was like, no big deal.
Right.
But
yeah, someone has indifference.
I think Hagen, did you also have peril?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, so it did affect you. So going back to your routine of performing, you will actually move 1 step up the peril condition track as well. So you'll performing and for these people has helped you calm yourself a little bit.
What about my consolation earlier? Did that help me out?
That not quite so much.
That sounds foppy though.
It's a little on the foppy side,
Yes.
but
All right, what do I need to do, boss? Tell me.
well, you gotta
I may ignore too. I gotta tell you how to tell.
you gotta tell
I'll
me how to
come on.
roleplay your character. I'm not doing it for you.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Can I?
What do I gotta do, man? What do I gotta do to get rid of this peril, man? All right.
I have a question for Zelena.
Yes, Selena.
Because I'm not real familiar. I can't remember exactly what her god does, but I know there's something to do with death, and
Yeah.
she
You
is
follow the
gonna be-
custodian, the god of death, the goddess of death. So
So this is a really important ritual for her to help the burial and everything.
yeah, you're gonna have to walk a fine line of being an expert and not being pushy. Because you're gonna have a lot of strongly held beliefs about what they should do.
So as much as she can, she's going to assist and then do some of the things while, they're doing, like basically add in as much as she can.
Why don't you give me a routine difficulty? So pick routine, and then give me a folklore roll. And this
What's routine again?
on your character sheet on the first page, there's a series of dots that go across the page where you can pick the difficulty. So if you just pick routine, one of them should say routine.
It's 10.
Okay, I see it. And then, so I need to do routine and then...
Yep, pick routine and then go down to folklore, which is under intelligence. Okay, so Zelena, you do your best to try to remember what kind of the standard practice is for funerals, so that you don't reveal anything cultish-y, I suppose you could say.
Or offend my god. I don't want to. Like, my most important concern is I don't want to offend my god.
Yeah,
so, but I still keep it on the.
But your roll of 58 with your rating of 49 is you're still you realize after you're kind of giving some instruction to them on what they can do that you've gone a little too far, and the people are starting to look at you a little weird.
Good one.
So, is anybody else watching this?
I mean, you're over there in front of this shop where they're building this casket. You're kind of talking to them about how the casket ought to be built and proper parameters and things they should put inside there with the body. To that when the soul passes and this, that the custodian will take him in under her wing and won't be lost.
Yeah, that's
and you've
exactly
gone
what
off
you
the
do,
you have gone off the reservation a little bit for people that follow the God Emperor. So
I would like to help dress the boy before his burial as a way to kind of relieve stress, like get him in looking as fancy as I can, because I'm just like worried they're going to make him look terrible.
You've got
like
an hour.
else.
Do you think you could put something together fashion-wise for him if you had some of his clothing? What kind of? Can you make it? Do you have trade? You don't have tradecraft, I'm guessing, but you could work.
Yeah, that yeah, I don't really. I don't have anything that I could.
I'll tell you what. Do you have disguise?
No, I don't. And that's flip to fail. I'll roll. Well, so it's tradecraft. I have a better chance with disguise though.
Disguise is flip to fail, so it's tradecraft.
Yeah, but I've got a higher bonus, higher fellowship than I do, and than I do the other one. So
all right. So let's go ahead. You're gonna be flip to fail. So go ahead and give me either one of those rolls. It doesn't matter which one you want to do. Whichever one's better for you. And,
all right.
and before you roll, this really, we'll leave it at standard. I'm not gonna adjust your difficulty. Just leave it at standard.
I was gonna say since he's dead and not moving around too much, is it plus 10?
This is
routine?
more work. You're doing work on the clothes themselves.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Trying to spruce his clothes up. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. All right, disguise it is. Ooh, all right. That's terrible.
Okay, so you failed, so we don't have to worry about Flip to failing you because you already failed. So
Yeah.
so
Whatever. I put a little flower in his hair.
you try, but it just doesn't really do much. Their clothes are all pilgrimy. They're all too plain dressed anyway. They all live, they have hide like coats and stuff that they wear when it gets cold, and the rest of their stuff's very plain, very it's all skirts and, like I said, very kind of Little House on the Prairie sort of feel to it, only without the colored shirts. Most of their shirts are just either like a brown or gray or black.
Mm-hmm. Not much to work with. Well, I'm gonna blame it on not having much to work with and not my inability to
proper mannequins.
Close.
You don't have any of the equipment either. So yeah, you do with what you can.
You don't have the threads to match.
Well, I feel a little bummed. Yeah, exactly. I feel a little bummed about how he looks at first, but then I'm pretty good at convincing myself of stuff, at least temporarily. So I'm convinced myself it looks good and sort of wander off.
Because you fail with flair. So
yeah.
So even though you fail, you can't critically fail. So you fail with some flair, and you're like, you put the little flower on there when you're done. You're like, and in your head, it just completes the whole angelic picture of this poor boy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
may not be your pièce de résistance, but
exactly. I call myself a miracle worker, and then sort of step out.
So you finish. Dealing with people who are recently deceased, though, however, will gain you 1 corruption.
Sweet.
So you do gain 1 corruption because you do have to go back in there and face him again to get the clothes on him.
Do I lose any peril?
No.
Damn it, I'm trying.
You failed. If you'd have done a good job, I might have. But
damn it. I'm trying, y'all.
It almost would have been better to do like a gamble because it's really if the parents like the clothes, because they may not like fancy clothes on the kid. I don't know. Just a thought.
I've taken that into consideration already when I was deciding the role. But
sure.
Yeah. No, if there was anyone in the town that would appreciate that sort of stuff, it would actually be his set of parents in particular, Philip and Velma.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, they're all over there getting themselves ready, and they see that you're kind of trying to spruce up his clothes and everything, and somebody kind of shoos you away from him. You're not supposed to disturb the dead. We got to get him ready for his final rest. Now, go on.
I was making the dead look better.
Well, maybe you should start brushing up on your Elven. I think the most use you're going to be is trying to speak to those high elves when they come down.
Well, and the most use you're going to be is fodder to that man with the damn shovel, probably. With that attitude. Just strut off and give him some sort of,
They look kind of shocked and appalled.
Lowborn. Give him some sort of lowborn, profane hand gesture and go and find my friends. I am just pissed at this point.
Well, everybody's still out in the center of town. Like I said, there's still a lot of people hanging around. They're just talking with each other. There's still people setting up smoke signals. They've got everything kind of ready to go. It is getting to be around lunchtime, and there's some debate on whether they should eat first or just go ahead and head to Cemetery Hill. Most of the people in town don't really feel like they could eat right now if they wanted to. But they do agree that maybe perhaps after services they could come back and have a meal before they head out on the manhunt.
So I'm definitely going to rest up so I can get my energy and...
Oh, for sure. I need to get way down on the peril track before we do anything.
Yeah, Herbert Brown, who's, like I say, kind of acting mayor of the town. He comes over there and approaches the group and says, "Oh, I hear Lawrence is he's picked y'all up to be part of the search crews."
Yes, we are going to help.
Well,
I nod to him.
we
Yeah.
appreciate that coming from some strangers. I mean, y'all just got here, and we done our best to try to be hospitable to you, and we appreciate this gesture that you're showing by putting your lives on the line and going to look for this criminal.
That boy did not get what he deserved.
Nobody deserves that.
I don't know if I can have any more action for the day, to be honest. I'm quite spent.
We'd wait till in the morning, but it'd give him a lot of time, a lot of head start into Elven territory if we wait till then. Some people don't even want to wait for us to bury poor Jackie, but
Maybe. Go ahead.
I feel like we have to do that first.
The burial, of course, needs to take place, but possibly we can send a few search parties out and tonight, overnight, and then our search party could go out in the morning in a second shift of sorts.
Look, if you don't think you can go, you're welcome to stay behind. You don't owe us anything.
Yes, I suppose it is important to go today. Just so frazzled.
Alright, well, I think processions are about to begin, but I know that Father Enoch was, due to the time constraints that we're working under today, was looking for a few able arms to help get the hole dug out at Cemetery Hill. If you guys wouldn't mind escorting him. Most of the rest of the town's watch are our family and want to stay here to escort the casket, the body out there. And
I offer to help dig because any excuse to get away from crowds.
Okay.
And like I can do that because I'm strong.
I also offered to help dig sense of duty.
All right, so he points over to the general store, which, as you know from if you were here last session, is usually not open. But you see Bartholomew Bernstein, big heavy-set guy. He's sitting over there out in front, and you see him. He's opening the place up. Flips his little sign around, says "Open."
All right. While they're off digging, I'm gonna go ahead and visit whoever's crafting the coffin.
Yeah.
See if I can lend my tradecraft to expedite matters or make sure that it's not going to fall apart too easily.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you head over there. Like I said, you see him working on the box. They're skilled craftsmen, but this is not something they make a whole lot of, and so the craftsmanship isn't bad, but it is a rather basic, plain sort of casket.
All right, I'll just offer to lend a hand in expediting things so that
make a tradecraft roll. Oh, you do real good. You didn't have any peril, but it would have healed you one if you did. Just for, cool. Like I said, getting back to something that takes your mind off of things will help a little bit in these situations. So, but you do help them. You show them a few techniques that they're not particularly used to, or that they haven't performed, because they do a different kind of lumber work. But and you're able to help them really polish this thing up and make it look real nice. You got some kind of a little bit of ornate stylizing to it that you're able to help them with over the next hour while they're out digging.
Cool.
The rest of you, Bartholomew comes out and hands y'all some shovels and gives one to Father Enoch. Says, you got enough people to go with you, Father? He's looking around, and there's Nadia and Meraki and Zelina. Are you going to go, or are you going to stay behind?
Oh, she's gonna go.
Okay, so I figured you might just being, all intrigued by their burial rituals.
Very.
Everest is going to go, and he's even going to grab a shovel.
All right, so you go pick up one of the shovels. Nadia, you remember again that the plague doctor told you guys you have to take the barrel of lime with you.
Oh shit! I remember that now.
Do you have a cart, sir, that we can bring this barrel with us?
Well, there's a cart over there. They're loading up, getting the box and everything on ready. The other supplies
Have
will
room
need.
for this?
Sorry, what was it?
Do we have room for this?
Well, that's an awfully big barrel. What's in it?
It's lime. We were told specifically by the plague doctor who sent us here that we need to douse or coat, if you will, any of the bodies that we happen to come upon.
Well, what sort of backhanded city sort of stuff is that? I mean, he didn't die of no plague like Leonard.
Well, that is true, but that does not mean the body does not have the plague. You see, it is possible for symptoms to not show up.
All
Yes,
right.
and what about the bugs that came out of the ground? If that may keep them from, infecting the earth, maybe it would be a good idea.
Listen. How about... Well, all right, look. Put it on the cart. Don't tell anyone what it is. And then after everything's done and everyone starts to leave, we'll coat everything down good before we pile the dirt back on. Will that make your plague doctor happy?
Yes, quite.
We can refer to them as burial salts if it makes it easier on the townsfolk.
He kind of shakes his head. He's like, damn city folk.
I may be from the city, sir, but I did have to survive.
Alright, well, just get it on the cart before anyone starts asking questions. In the meantime, let's take our shovels and get hiking. We've got a little jog we got to make before we get to the cemetery.
By the way, Hagen does take a shovel, but not to really help.
Okay.
That's total. Man, you took my idea.
That is legit, probably the case. So
we're both probably just going to be standing there
grab a
talking,
shovel,
like digging a little bit of dirt.
it's gonna look like a state union job. It'll be like 2 people digging and like 3 people standing around watching.
Really, Zelina, like skinny little old lady, and then these guys are just standing around.
So you guys grab your shovels and you head out with Father Enoch, and he gets a little ways outside the edge of town, the other direction from the river. It's not towards the river, it's the exact opposite direction. They take a little hike through some wooded area, and everyone's kind of on alert because, no one got a real good look at whatever this thing was, so there's nothing that says he can't be on this other side of the river. So as you guys are kind of walking through the woods, you guys will hear things every now and then. It's spring, so there's a lot of wildlife out. So things are not quiet in the woods at all, but every once in a while you hear a stick snap or some leaves rustle, and you look over and you'll see a rabbit scurry off or a deer hop over and run off because it got spooked by you. But it just keeps you on edge the whole time. It's not a pleasant walk heading out here to the cemetery, and you get up to this clearing, and it is kind of up at the top of a hill. There's a bit of a hill you got to climb up to get to the top of this hill, and it's been cleared out from trees, and there is sort of a wood gate around it and everything. He opens up, and you see several stone, rows of headstones that have been kind of crudely carved out. These people are lumbers and lumberjacks and stuff. They're not they're not really stone workers per se. So, but you see stone grave markers laid in rows out like you would in any other kind of cemetery. He points with his shovel. Father Enoch goes, I suppose over there was as good as any. You make your way down there, and he says there's a lot of memories in this place. A lot of people that have unfortunately passed over the years. These are the unlucky ones. The ones who didn't make their way back to Huttenberg. Of course, the ones who tried to make it back to Huttenberg and failed, who knows where their remains lie. Alright, suppose digging here is where we're going to go. Suppose about 5-6 foot deep ought to do. So,
Should I roll to
so what?
dig? What are we doing?
Yeah, digging is just gonna be a
Straight brawn?
athletics. You never. One of the main rules in Zweihander that they really preach is that you never roll the base stat. Like, you'll never make an agility, brawn, or intelligence roll. You always roll a skill. So athletics is what you're looking for. If you have any ranks in athletics and you have peril, make sure that you properly adjust your difficulty to remove the peril. So, like, if you had 1 rank, you would want to make it challenging just so it gets rid of the +10.
Is this going to be therapeutic at all?
Digging?
Sure. Burying the dead.
It will be for Zelina for sure.
I think once it's all done, you guys will start to get over some of it. But this part's probably. I could see for Zelina it might be a little helpful because as long as things are going her way. Otherwise, this could be incredibly stressful.
Hey, so like I said, I'm not going to help, but I want to see if I can spur them on and help them do better in their roles, or not in their roles, but just do better in general.
Yeah, your flaw means that you can't give them a die to help. So, but you totally can stand there and just give them instruction like you know what you're doing.
Yay, cheerleader.
You need a twist, damn it! You're doing that wrong!
You're gonna hurt your back.
I'm gonna hurt your face with a shovel.
You're just full of old man wisdom.
Well, one thing I do definitely want to do, since I can't really do that, I want to check on the shovel itself. I don't remember exactly what happened to the shovel that we saw with Jackie Brown, but I want to take a look at the shovels that we have to see if they look similar to what we saw while we were there. Is there anything I could roll for that?
Scrutinize.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's make it a challenging roll. Since you didn't get a real good look at the shovel that was at the scene.
Plus, I'm old and I forget things way too easy.
Yeah. And you can't tell if there's any difference. I mean, shovels kind of all look the same. Like, this could be the shovel. Who knows what they did with it? It was. You would suspect that it was probably brought to, probably Herbert Brown probably has it. He probably kept it as evidence. Him and Lawrence Stauncy are probably looking it over, looking for marks of, looking for some sort of signs of elven marks. Anything that might give them an idea where it came from, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I was more looking to see if, I mean, basically kind of looking to see if the head of the shovel was similar, if the wood was kind of similar. Was kind of what I was going for, but that works as well.
Hard to tell.
Doesn't matter. I failed. So
yeah, you can't really tell too much. Like that shovel that was used just doesn't seem that distinct. What you do kind of think from looking at it, though, is that these shovels seem relatively new and unused. They don't seem like the one that you saw seemed like it had been weathered, like it had been out in the elements. Maybe rusted a little, where these aren't rusted hardly at all. That's about all you get from it.
All right, cool, thanks.
So you guys get to dig in, and you're getting a pretty good hole dug, pretty good pile of dirt out there to the side, and Father Enoch, he pulls himself up and sits up along the edge. Yeah, we haven't had to do a service like this since little Mikey Carson. He fell off a horse several years back. It's a stone right over there. He points over towards the stone. He was about Jackie's age when he passed, about the last time anyone in the town seen anything quite like this. Of course, it was an accident.
Selena gets very curious and just very quietly asks, how was he laid to rest? Was he given all the proper ceremonies and services? And she tries not to go off the deep end.
Okay, well, for Mikey Carson, the little kid from years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was given, proper burial per ordinances of the Godsworn.
She just looks a little visibly agitated because it's obviously not quite enough for her.
You know that the custodian, being the goddess of death, she typically will still accept most souls, because while she's not a completely benevolent deity, she does not want them to fall into the hands of the abyssal princes. So any of the burial rites of any of the other mostly benevolent deities, usually she would go ahead and take, because she wouldn't want them to fall and become a minion of one of the princes.
Ah, okay. Good to know.
So the forces of chaos are headed by, I think it's like 5 abyssal princes. There's an abyssal prince of decay, an abyssal prince of chaos. Like there's a few of them, and they will warp and twist bodies that are not properly buried and turn them into all sorts of fiendish creatures and stuff. So the custodian is the god that most people, regardless of their religion, turn to protect the dead. And so even most other faiths would still somewhat honor the custodian in the way they go about doing things.
Okay, then she seems satisfied then.
They don't do a fantastic job. Like, think of it kind of in the way that most Catholics probably don't feel like most standard Christians do a good job at burial because they don't give last rites. It's kind of like they didn't do the last rites, but they still get the rest of the burial ceremony right.
Okay.
So it's kind of like they feel like you're missing like a pretty big component, but hopefully the custodian will not look down upon them and be angry.
So if there's nothing that she could do at this point, then she'll just accept his answer. But if she knows that there's like one last little thing she could do, some kind of little thing.
Since there's no one here but him and you guys, you could perform your blessing sacrament on the ground around it prior to the body being put in. But to do that, you'd have to get somebody to distract the preacher.
I mean, I might feel guilty enough to do that for you.
Hagen has no qualms in distracting.
Okay.
You could juggle something.
I would pull both of you guys aside and implore you that this is a very important element that could lead to the unrest and contamination of this soul if we, don't make sure that this is done. And I mention my God, um, to them, like she's not afraid to say that, and that, that way the God of the dead would accept and take the soul.
So, Hagen, do you know any tricks that would involve a blindfold?
Sure. Lots of tricks that involve blindfolds.
I
We could
happen
use
to
some
have
of my.
one.
Oh, or that too. I was like, or you could use some of my gods to create a blindfold, and we could perform for the priest over there.
Oh. Do you happen to have an apple?
I do not. I don't think.
Doesn't matter. It could be anything. We'll just stick that on your head while you're blindfolded, and I'll throw stuff at it.
Oh, I was thinking more of blindfolding the old man.
Oh, I got you now. That's a different trick. Yeah, let's see if we can get him blindfolded and take him over towards a tree. I don't think he's gonna go for it, but maybe you can talk.
Is Everest here, right?
Yeah, Everest is here.
Could we ask him to use his ability of charm to assist us?
Yes, you can. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to make myself some sort of caffeinated drink real quick so I can wake up a little bit. But yes, I will be on point in just a second.
Hey, I was thinking, why don't we just ask him about some of the other people in the cemetery here and see if we can get him lost in some type of.
That is a great idea.
So you want to ask him about other people that are buried here?
Yes, I go up and maybe use rumor or something, and then say one of the names, and
You don't have to make a roll. The moment you bring it up, he immediately starts to take you over to show you a couple of plots.
Sweet. Does that give us better history of the place as well?
Walks over to this one. He goes, "This one here is Cyrus Jones."
I'm gonna point over to one that's way on the other side and direction from where where we're gonna do our.
Yeah, that's fine. He starts here at this first one. He's like, "This one here is Cyrus Jones. He lived to be 103. Probably the oldest person to ever live in Treefell. Well, I was really young when he passed. I suppose at 103 years, he seemed like he'd lived forever. And this one over there that you're pointing at, that over there, that's the resting place of Muriel Stonewall.
Stonewall, huh?
Stonewall, yep. Yeah, poor Muriel. Both of her boys died in the Great Orcs War. They're both buried down in Valandria, down in the Emperor's Cemetery, with honors, giving their lives on the front line to repel the Orc hordes.
I probably have been right there before me before.
Yeah, they said you were a jester for the Emperor himself. What an honor it must have been to be in his presence daily.
It was a great, proud moment of mine. So Tell me more about that person there.
He goes on into a story, and Zelina, they've got him distracted.
Okay, so she's gonna go do her ritual. Do I need to roll for that?
Well, you will need Meraki and Evers to help you.
Oh, that's right.
You have to convince them to help you with this.
I need your help completing a ritual for this other soul here who perhaps has not crossed over yet because of the way this townspeople do their rituals. If you'll just join me in hands and I can say these rites. She says that to Meraki and the other one.
Ritual?
Of last rites, yes. It's a human.
A human thing?
Yes.
Very well then.
So she gets ready to do the ritual and
He
does
critically
like,
fails
hopes.
his awareness check. So it's going to take you...
Oh no!
It's going to take...
Oh, that's good.
This is good for you. So yeah, the Jester and Nadia have him completely over there doing his thing, talking about some of the dead that have been buried here in, from Treefell's history, this, that, the other. And so you can get away with whatever you want to over there, during this time.
Hey,
He's not going to notice the chanting. He's not going to notice the demon you accidentally summon. He's not going to notice anything. So you are good to go.
All right. So what do I need to do now?
Okay. So according to this, you cast this as... I was trying to see, as petty magic. So...
See, it's under ritual of blessing or
Blessed Sacrament is what you're doing. And I guess the first thing we have to ask is, you're doing consecration? Are you going to basically consecrate an altar, chalice, plate, relic, or symbol to the god you serve?
I guess so, yeah.
Because you're not doing a dedication where you're blessing a cornerstone or a building.
Right.
Like
whatever fits best, I guess.
You're consecrating this grave site to the name of the custodian. So, so yeah, you will have to... It's a routine test, so you can move your difficulty to routine.
Okay.
And you will need to make an incantation roll.
Is that on the first sheet?
Yeah, incantation is a skill. It's the skill that you use to cast magic or do rituals. And since you got a couple people to help you with it, you have all the materials you need. Now you just have to conduct the little ritual before the body gets here. And you do it. So you have successfully sanctified this place. And thus it is... Actually, we'll do it as dedication instead of consecration. You're not making it a holy symbol. So what we'll do instead is we'll use the dedication version, where you've dedicated this to the custodian, and it's equal to your weeks in your... It's weeks worth of your WB. So what's your willpower bonus?
It is 5.
Okay, so for the next 5 weeks, this threshold will prevent any abyssal creature from trespassing upon it. It has to be invited by you, or the inhabitant, which would be the kid. And that ain't gonna happen, obviously.
Or is it?
Yeah, it has. It will keep anything abyssal from actually crossing or standing on top of Jackie's grave site
Okay.
for 5 weeks. So we'll just take note of that for a moment. That might actually be important at some point in time in this game.
Don't tell us that. That's a secret.
Look, I'm just saying. I have to know these kind of things when you GM. All right, so this whole process takes about an hour. And as you finish up, you start to see the funeral procession come up over the hill. There's a couple of horses with the cart and, a fair number of the town's people walking there behind it. And the preacher's completely oblivious to it. He's over there talking with Hagen about the wars. He's telling you a little about himself, that he actually grew up, closer to Valandria. He's not from Treefell. He actually only came here. One of the few people who actually migrated to Treefell and not away from it. So he's kind of spun off from talking about the dead people to talking a little bit about himself. Once you got him talking about the Orcs' War a little bit.
Perfect.
Whichever one of our party is closest to me as the procession is coming up, I'm gonna kind of lean over and go, I'm gonna need to do this again later.
I'm not even sure what you did to begin with, though. But no, I don't mind helping again.
Now, as you guys were standing there and she's conducting this ritual, you feel the wind start to pick up. As the wind kind of picks up and wisps around the gravesite, it almost comes up out of the hole itself, kind of almost blasting you in the face a little bit as she casts.
Mm-hmm. It's refreshing.
It's already, it's springtime. It's not warm out yet, but you could definitely tell that this wind that you feel it gives you a little bit of sense of something not quite natural.
Do not like.
And then just as quickly as it starts, at the end, it's over. It's just a real quick gust of wind.
How does Selena feel about that? Like, does she feel
You feel
just
comforted
like
by
everybody
it.
else? Oh, I do.
Yes. You recognize it as the Yesod, the onyx wind of necromancy and sorcery.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I can see why everybody else would be uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, I read that wrong one. It's Morticism, the purple wind, it goes by the name of Tiferet. I looked at the wrong name. The necromancy sorcery wind, the Yesod, is actually quite a bad thing. You wouldn't want to be conjuring that wind. So you get done just in time as you see the funeral procession come up over, and you notice that many of the townsfolk showed up in most of them were wearing good church-type clothes. They got cleaned up, this and the other, but there's several people, both men and women, both, who are armed and in armors, quilted leather armors. They don't have anything much better than that, but you'll notice they're the first time you've seen someone other than Lawrence Stauncy and Mikhail, members of the Night Watch, actually in armors. They come out there with their arms and they take the small casket. It only takes 4 of them to carry it instead of like 6, because he was young. And they work it over there and they put it down in its spot, and Father Enoch, he comes over and he stands there near where the headstone will go. Obviously, it's not fashioned yet. That stuff takes more time. And says, well, we gather here today under the most darkest of circumstances to see the young light of Jack Brown been stamped out all too soon. And I think at this point, we not only pray for his safe passing into the arms of the custodian, but but also that the Emperor God will look down upon us and help bring justice to Treefell.
Amen, brother.
I think that while the hunting parties are headed to the rivers to meet with the elven emissaries, I'll be conducting a special service at the chapel when we get back. And I encourage the rest of you to perhaps consider skipping the meal and begin a several-day fast with me. And perhaps our sacrifice will help gather the attention of the God Emperor and will help expedite justice.
Well, the group already did lose our rations, so it won't be hard.
I'm, I would definitely consider it, especially for the God Emperor.
I'll do my best. Sometimes I have lightheadedness when I don't eat regularly, being as thin as I am.
Can we have one last meal?
Everybody's bowing their heads down, and you see people are walking over and they're placing a few little trinkets down and some flowers and everything else down onto the box and saying their last goodbyes. They're hugging each other and they're crying a bit, and Lawrence Stauncy walks over to kind of where the group of you are standing. I assume you're not standing right up there along the edge of the thing. I assume you're kind of back a little ways.
Yes, for sure.
He says, "Are y'all feeling up to it? I appreciate you coming out here and helping Father Enoch with the dirty work."
The least we could do.
I suppose.
So, are we fasting before the manhunt, or are we fasting during the manhunt? Seems like they would be counterproductive. Sorry.
Well, I for one will not be fasting. I'll need my strength.
I recommend us hunting. We take our meal and we keep our strength. We'll leave the praying and the fasting to the others who stay behind. So, you got your gear, everything good to go?
Did we?
I mean, other than my barrel.
Did Nigel come with the procession up here? Nigel?
Yeah, Nigel would have followed after
The box was done.
after they put the kid in the box. He would have followed with the processional. Yeah.
All right. So you made your way out there now, and you see the rest of the group standing over there talking with Lawrence Stauncy.
Was this therapeutic?
Yeah, everybody can reduce their peril track by one more.
Woo! Yes.
Did I get relief from doing the burial rite?
Yeah. Those sorts of things have helped you guys feel a little better after what you've seen, and you're feeling a little more ready. Maybe most of you. Some of you might still have a level of peril left. That's actually reducing a skill rank. You could be at imperiled, I think, is the first one after unhindered. If you're at imperiled, you're still a little shaken up, but you can function normally. That's just like the normal level of stress. It's just when you're beyond that you're having issues. So he says, again, appreciate you guys, appreciate y'all being willing to help on short notice and being new here to town. I don't know what we're going to find out there, but there's been smoke signals coming back from the top of High Mountain. I think they're going to send down an emissary.
How long until the emissary reaches us?
I don't know. We've never had to wait for one before. Jessup talks like take a couple hours, but we're a couple hours from getting down to the river as is. So as far as I could tell, It ought to be getting down there about in time to meet us by the time we get to the river. Now, Herbert Brown's going to tell you that if we find this perpetrator, that we should bring him in for proper justice. But I've talked to many in the town, and they'd be perfectly all right with this thing coming back dead.
Sounds like proper justice to me.
And I won't think anything less of you if you do. Well, we get back to town, we'll meet out over by the chapel and let Father Enoch give us a blessing on our way out of town to appease the masses, and we'll make our way down towards the river. Assume you all ready to go?
Yes.
Indeed.
All right. Well, pay your last respects and let's get a move on. We got to get this done before nightfall sets in.
Agreed.
So Father Enoch finishes up the ceremony, and people are kind of standing around and they're hugging and they're talking and consoling the parents, and some of the people start to head back, and a few other people grab the shovels and they start throwing some dirt back down into the hole to help get the work done. And are you going to head back, Zelina?
Yes. Well, back with the manhunt party, or?
Yeah, are you going back to town to form up the posse for the manhunt at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So you leave Father Enoch behind, and he has to hang around to help get everyone out of the cemetery, and you guys all start your long walk back to Treefell. Again, it takes you about an hour to walk back, and it's kind of an unsettling walk, but there's enough people walking back kind of in a larger group here that it's not as bad as the trek out here was, because you feel a little less likely with this many people around that you're going to get ambushed by a single individual. So you get back to town, and like I said, you see a few people with their armor on and their what weaponry they have. And you see Lawrence Stauncy standing there. He's the only one with brigandine armor on. He's the only one with professional looking armor and a shield and his sword. Alright, so I'm going to take Mikhail with me. We're going to take the butlers and John's over there. We're gonna head up here up front. You five there. Your group here can. I'm gonna have you head down towards the back pass. He points off over towards this other path that heads down into the woods, and he goes, you head down there. Once you get to the river, you double back up this way towards us. If you see any signs of elves, anything else, he goes, I want you to give a blow on this horn. He hands you kind of a bugle call horn. He goes, ain't like a musical instrument. You ain't gotta be fancy with it. Just something we'll recognize. He gives it to whichever one of you wants to take it.
I'll take it.
All right, Outrider takes the bugle horn. So you can put that on your trappings that you have a bugle horn. All right, any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Well, we got to wait just a little bit for Father Enoch to get back so he can bless the hunt, and then off we go.
I'm going to go off to the side and take a little bit of one of my silver pieces and shave it off and put it to the Night Father as a offering for our safe.
Okay. Just make me a folklore roll. Standard.
Okay.
You're not doing a true incantation.
I've got to find it.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, Zelina.
Yes.
You see Hagen doing something sort of strange off to the side. He's kind of shaving up a coin and going through what looks like some sort of prayer. It's kind of strange looking. Doesn't look like anything you recognize as anything actual magic, but he's kind of doing it awkwardly, though.
And Hagen is not the priest, right?
No, Hagen is the jester. It's Woda's character.
Oh. If you don't mind, if I ask, what are you doing?
Just messing with my silver, lady. That's it.
Zelina, please.
You see him twiddling a coin between his fingers.
She doesn't really suspect him of being dishonest, so she just accepts it.
All right. So pretty soon, Father Enoch comes back from the cemetery. He comes walking over and kind of holds out his arms. He goes, the parties have assembled. Well, let us bless you in prayer. He takes out a clay jar. And you see the others from Treefell, they hold out the tips of their weapons. He goes walking along and dousing them with water, chanting in some sort of strange language.
I do not let him put it on mine.
He walks up to you and he looks at you and sees that you don't present your weapons, and he kind of gives a understanding nod as well. Suit yourself. He goes along to the next one, to Hagen, and looks at you, Hagen. Do you present your dagger, your throwing knives?
I think I
Hagen?
have one dagger. Yeah.
Did we lose you, Hagen?
I'm sorry?
The priest comes along looking to see if you're presenting your weapons for him to bless.
Yeah, I'll put all up my my fists and also my knives.
Okay.
It can't hurt me.
He splashes a little water on it. Says a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that will help me quite a bit.
Goes down to Everest.
Yes, sir. This bow was borrowed, so I suppose I should ask its owner. And just he completely forgot who he borrowed it from, so he's going to look over to Meraki and go, Meraki, this is your bow, correct? Do you mind if he blesses it?
My bow?
Yes, you loaned it to me after you purchased it from that old gnomish man, I believe.
Nigel kind of does like the old lean from out behind the lineup. Kind of does a lean and then makes eye contact with Meraki and just kind of gives her a nod, and then resumes his.
Sure.
Excellent. Yes, you bless away, sir. And I'm gonna like close my eyes and hold my holy symbol while he does it, like and sort of just pretend to pray.
Okay.
Yes, Selena too is gonna be like
he-
looking very curious.
He splashes a little on there. Comes down to Nigel. Do you present your sword?
Nigel actually takes off his hat, wraps it around like the part of the blade that is closest to the hilt, and holds both out to be blessed.
Nah. He splashes a little water on it. Says a few words. Comes down to Zelina.
So she will allow that.
She allows it? Okay. He, make me an incantation roll, Zelina.
Okay. Is there any difficulties, or is it routine?
This is just standard.
Bear with me. I'm sorry, my mouse isn't working great.
Oh no. You watch him do this, and you realize he doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
He's not saying the words right. He's not applying the water right. Like, it's not... I mean, it's something you could learn to do correctly. You don't know the spell itself, but you've seen it done. He's not doing it correctly at all. Nothing he is doing here is applying any usable bonus to anything that you guys are going to do, but he's going through the motions. And you're the only one who knows it.
To cause any damage, or is it
No.
going to just do nothing?
No, it's just literally going to do nothing.
Okay, then I'll keep quiet for the moment.
Is
You
it like
get the
from her
sensation
from her
that-
perspective? Is it even like culturally correct? Like,
No. It's, I mean, the only thing that's correct about it is that if there were a true preacher who was going to anoint weapons, that is what they would do. They would apply holy water to the weapons and blades. But the way he's going about doing it, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I do a...
You get the sensation he's clearly not a preacher.
Okay, so is there like a sense motive where I kind of can tell that
Scrutinize, if
he's
you want.
being... Okay, give me 1 sec.
Fonsatir in the chat wants you to throw holy water on him. He's convinced that the preacher's a demon.
Oh, I don't have any holy water.
No, you haven't made any yet. You can make it, though, later. You can't right now.
Okay, scrutinize is under...
She takes a step back and just quickly makes holy water.
Hold on, give me an hour. It takes an hour to make holy water. Give me just an hour.
I got 69.
She doesn't have detect magic on him either. Sorry, Fawn. She doesn't have any of those spells. Well, you didn't really pass your scrutinize, so you don't recognize anything else about him at this point, or you just know that he's definitely not doing it right.
So once I get back in where I was standing before,
Yeah.
who's standing closest to me that I could kind of mutter.
Who'd we just talk to right before you? It was Nigel. Nigel's the closest to you.
So I kind of lean over to Nigel and I mutter that this will do nothing. This is not going to do anything.
Nigel kind of just goes, ain't that the truth?
Nice.
So once the quote unquote blessing of the weapons has been completed, Father Enoch leads the congregation of townsfolk into the chapel for his fasting and prayer. And Lawrence Stauncy looks at you and goes, "Hey, you got your orders." They take off down one pass, and you guys, your party, is left to take off down the other with the horn, should you need it.
Is any town folk out seeing us off or anything?
Well, they're watching you guys leave as they're funneling into the church. Pretty much everyone else.
Okay. I
Somebody
want to try. And
somebody
catch
has
the
me on
little
speaker
girl.
because I can hear myself.
Is it me?
I couldn't tell where it was coming from, but I could hear myself speaking.
It was Leopold.
Is it? Can you hear it now?
Nope, I don't hear it now. Maybe
Okay.
something was stuck open there. I was like, all of a sudden I was hearing me talk back to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to find the little girl and gift her my holy symbol.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can do that before she goes in.
Yeah, and just say, the God Emperor will keep you safe. Just hold this by your side and always stay with someone bigger than you.
She takes it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She goes walking into the church. Well,
Alright. And I'll scurry back over to the group before we head off.
Nadia, are you going to take Elmer?
I'm gonna take that defiant little bastard. Yeah.
All right. So give me your handle animal roll. See if you can get Elmer under control. He's been the most disobedient horse I've ever seen in a campaign. This should be good. Yeah, he's still being finicky. He doesn't seem like he wants to go into those woods at all.
He's gonna become glue very soon.
That's why we named him Elmer. It's because you're going to turn him into glue before it's done. But you start to get this idea that, like, maybe he's sensing something out there. He clearly doesn't want to go. You're going to have to move it up to a challenging task if you want to make one more roll to see if you can force him to just, force him down the path.
All right, bitch, let's go.
Rocky's just hitting your ass.
So you finally get him. You have to literally walk him away from the stables and get him saddled up, and you tie him off to a tree to get him where you can get up onto him, and then have somebody untie it and hand you the reins. But you finally get up on top of the horse, and you got your healing supplies in his saddle pouches, and you guys head off down the pass. The pass that you guys are taking is not the one you took earlier down to where the attack site was. That's the one that Lawrence and his crew's headed down. You guys are heading down another pass. It takes you a little further south. And
Are we still heading towards
you're still heading towards the river, though.
the mountain?
You're a little further away from the mountain. They're closer to the mountain than you are, but
Okay, so they'll probably hit the emissary.
They were more likely to find the emissary, and they got Herbert Brown with them, the mayor. Should that happen, the one person who didn't make the trip obviously was Jessup. He's too old. They weren't going to drag him down there. So, as far as you know, Jessup's back at his house.
Summoning demons.
Or whatever. So you guys make your way down the pass a bit. And you guys walk through for a while, and it's kind of like the walk was towards the cemetery. You're hearing a lot of snaps of twigs and stuff, and you're looking over and you're seeing wildlife scurry about to and fro. And then as you get down towards the river, you can start to hear that river kind of flowing through, and it's not like a super giant like river. It's more like a stream, but it flows through there, and you get up there along the edge, and as you're walking along, before too long, you will need to make me an awareness check. Rocky's critically failed.
Give me 1 second.
Oh shit! I still had difficulty.
What difficulty am I on? Just regular?
I mean,
Well, with a roll of a 2, you weren't going to fail either way, so you're fine.
right.
Just, you can leave it. It's okay. You're definitely the
I have
first one
that-
to notice.
I have that thing where if I'm surprised, that's like one of my merits.
That's right, you have danger sense, don't you?
Yes, I get a fortune point. and
Okay.
it goes to
Spidey.
combat.
You're right. You have danger sense. So, your danger sense goes off first. Something feels weird. The hair starts to stand up on the back of your neck. You start to get this weird sort of wind sensation blowing through your hair. Something suddenly is not right. You look down and you start to notice the rustling of the leaves as all sorts of manner of insects start to scurry. Everywhere you look, you see snakes come up out of their holes, slither off.
I'm out.
Rabbits come out of their dens and begin to take off running.
Something is wrong.
Is that Georgie that made that gasp?
No, it wasn't.
No, that was me.
I know. I know. I'm just joking about Georgie's fear of snakes.
You're all standing there. You're all looking around. And then 1 second, you swear it's not there, and the next second, you swear it is. You see a shadowy figure standing, knee-deep in the river on the other side. It wears a long trench coat and a hat with a wide brim. And slumped over one shoulder is a shovel.
Judy.
From this distance, you can see its eyes glow red.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Stop! You violated the law!
What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't talk to this thing. We're gonna shoot it. I'm just
Who
kidding.
gave you permission to talk?
Yeah, no, do whatever you want. I'm just messing around.
Alright, we are going to combat actions.
Woo! I'm on like my third wind. I apologize for no.
That's okay, this is the part where you hide in the corner anyway.
Yeah, but I do have a bow this time.
Does he
I was
have
gonna
anything in
use
his
it.
hands, or does it have anything?
He has a shovel.
Yeah. Okay. And it's glowing red. Okay.
His eyes are glowing red.
I know what I want to do.
Teeth grown sharp.
Hold on, let me see what
Eyes
his
glowing
initiative
red.
is.
That looks like a 9.
That's an 18 for
Kill
him.
its face.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I forget what that means.
It's initiative. He's just gonna go first.
Oh, we did.
Do I get a fortune point from that thing?
Read it to me again. Can you hit the talent and put it into the, is it on your talents and trappings page? If it's
It
a talent,
says-
click it and it'll put it in the screen so we can see it.
It says whenever you're surprised, you can have a
Oh.
fortune point to
If-
go first in combat. I can
Okay,
spend one. I can spend one.
yes. So, if you would like to go first in combat before he goes, he does not have a surprise round on you. You guys, some of you passed your awareness checks. But what I'll let you do with your danger sense is if you want to spend one of those fortune points, I will let you and you will move in front of him in initiative for this round.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay, so let's quickly go back over to our
You do realize that we just started combat and you just gave him a misfortune point.
I ain't scared.
I don't
We
know how
gotta
that works.
use
I'm
them
sorry.
sometime.
I know, I get it.
So, now Nadia, you are currently on your horse, so I have given you control of the horse token up there. So if you want to move yourself up onto that horse, you are in the range category.
How do I put
Hold
me on top?
Move yourself off to the side. I gotta move you to the front.
I'm more of a top kind of
There you
person.
go. Now move it on top.
He rides the horse like a normal person instead of like hanging from the bottom.
Nice.
Here, I got you moved. Just move
Damn
on
it.
top of it.
Quit moving the damn horse.
I was actually in the middle of trying to group your tokens together so they'll move as one, but it's fine.
Ooh. I forgot you could do that.
You could do that. I meant to do that ahead of time, and I didn't. So that's my bad. But from here, you have.
Well, he hasn't been able to successfully get on the horse for a while, so.
For this first round, Zelina is going to go first. So Zelina, you have 3 action points, and your initiative goes first because of your danger sense. Now, do you have? If you look under the. If you go to the handouts, which is the third little tab, looks like newspapers, you can see there's a thing of combat actions, or you can click on it, it'll bring it up on your screen so you can see it. You may have to zoom in on it a little bit, but it'll show you the AP cost of everything that you might want to do.
Oh, okay. I was hoping to cast Can of Grass, but I don't know if I'm close enough.
You're close enough, he's in sight.
Then I want to do that.
Okay, so let's take a look at Cackhand of Grasp here, because I am in the magic section, so that's useful. You have to have a pinch of lard, I know that much. Yep, so your reagents is a dab of animal fat rubbed between 2 fingers, and I'm going to assume you do have that in one of your pouches. So for your first AP, you'll have to arm yourself with reagents, so you're going to pull out your dab of animal fat. Now the real question is, you have 2 AP left. You don't need to move, because he's in line of sight, so you don't have to move. It'll take 1 AP to cast the spell. Your second AP, you have a choice. You can hold on to that for defense, to try to parry, if you become the target of an attack. Or you can instead use it to channel power, which will make casting this spell easier.
I'll do that. Channel power.
Okay, so if you're going to channel power, what you have to do... Let me go over to the magic casting window quick. Let's see. Yep, you're in Generalist Magic, so it's cost 1 AP. To channel power, it adds 10 to your target, and you gain an additional D6 Chaos die. You also gain 1 corruption, so write 1 corruption in for channeling power.
Okay.
Do you know where corruption is on your sheet? That circle in the middle of your alignment.
I do, but I don't know where the fortune point was because I couldn't.
Oh, you don't have the fortune points. I have those.
Oh, okay.
I keep track of those on the live screen.
So 1 extra chaos.
Yeah. So here's how this is going to work. The first thing you have to do is you have to make an incantation roll, and you get to add 10 to the difficulty. So you can make it a routine? I think is the first.
Yeah, routine.
Yeah. So make it routine and then cast incantation. Okay, so that is a failed roll. So now what you have to do is...
Oh no.
On a fail, it says... Oh, well, luckily there's nothing on a failure that happens that's that bad. but you do have to roll me a d6, and because you have cruel tutelage, you do not want a 1 or a 6 to come up. So
Okay,
roll
so I
it just
just
as straight
rolled-
d6, and this is a chaos die. Okay, you avoid a chaos manifestation.
Whew.
So you rub this thing and you cast, and as you make your chant and your plea to the custodian, you feel nothing. The wind dies down.
Oh no.
Nothing happens.
You
And
broke
it's
it.
just standing there holding its shovel. Now the good news is you have more lard. You can attempt it again next round if you want to. That is the
Got
thing about
plenty of
magic.
lard.
That is kind of the misnomer about magic in Zweihander, is everyone calls it low fantasy. The truth is you don't have a lot of different spells, but as long as you have reagents on you, you can continually keep gambling with your life essentially and casting magic.
I'll try again.
So you did spend all 3 AP, so your turn is done.
It's medium
Okay.
magic. Instead of low.
Let's go back to the combat screen. All right. Oh, Fruitzilla's here. Hey, Fruitzilla.
What's up?
Hey there, big shooter. Thank you for the bits. I'm about to kill some characters, so you're just in time, Fruit.
What?
Shut up.
What are you talking about?
You were supposed to hear that.
You can try.
So
You haven't said
it
that
is the
until your buddy
shadowy.
Fruitzilla came.
It is the shadowy figure's turn, and you see it. It kind of raises one hand, and he's going to try an incantation as well.
Oh lord. We got a freaking wizard on our hands.
Pulls out a rocket. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
I wish.
Fire, ice, fire, ice.
I want to attack the darkness.
I was gonna say that.
Guys, where are the Cheetos?
Stole our quote.
Are there any girls there?
You guys are fired. Minus 100 RP. That's a whole dot.
Ouch.
I'm
I
already
attacked the
missing that.
gazebo.
Sorry, I lost my page in the bestiary. What I'm looking for.
Bet
I'll
you
find it in a
did.
second.
Oh, I remember. In the book, it says he's very vulnerable to spears.
Yeah, that's what it says. Sure.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's exactly what it said. It takes quadruple damage. Also is scared of elven fops. Specifically.
Okay, it spends the first AP, and it starts marching kind of ominously across the river. And it raises its hand, and you hear this sort of unhallowed voice start to chant something. Oh, let me see what this thing says. I gotta find the attack. It tells me the attack profile, but I'm trying to find the damage. Yeah, there it is. Okay, got it. Oh man, that sucks. All right.
No.
It puts the shovel kind of to the side, holding it down, the tip of it kind of dragging in the water as it walks across the water, and it opens its mouth, and this swarm of just bugs, insects of various types, bees, everything, just come pouring out your direction. My mouse has gone on the fritz now.
Gross. This thing is cursing everyone's mouse.
My mouse was broken yesterday, so I already bought a new one, but it's not here yet.
Hey, get him off of my range, man.
So 3 and 6. That's Hagen. Hagen and Nigel.
Ah, they got it in my mouth.
Gross.
I can't see shit.
Trying to see. Okay, a foe can attempt to dodge or parry it with a shield if you have a shield. If not, you can spend 1 AP as a reaction to try to dodge.
Or light yourself on fire.
Yeah, I'm dodging here.
He's old. He can't suffer too many burn wounds.
All right, so go ahead and make your dodge roll. You'll find dodge on the second page under talents and trappings. You'll find it as a stat over there. You can just click dodge.
One of Skin's main weaknesses is fire.
You successfully dodge it.
But I don't see it on my list. Trappings. Oh,
Yeah, just
it's
scroll
under
down.
armor.
Up there under armor. You can attempt to
under
parry
armor
it if you
shield.
have a shield. You can essentially hold your shield up and try to duck behind it if you're quick enough.
Okay, I
So
will
you
try
can
that.
roll parry. And you successfully hold the shield up, and the bugs just are splattering up against your shield. You feel them; they were just fall like just right at you as fast as they can.
Gonna need the bug to be gone.
This is not pleasant. Do we have any citronella candles?
Nadia, it is your turn.
So I remember last time you said something stupid, but I couldn't use a bow from my horse. Is that still correct, or
You can
was that incorrect?
You can shoot from horseback. What you
Can I
don't
shoot
get,
from
you
here?
don't get the extra fury die shooting from horseback. But if you were to charge it with your spear, you would gain an extra. You would gain an extra fury die for charging. If you were to try to impale him with your spear.
Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna charge him.
Handle animal to make your animal
Oh
charge.
God, or not.
Rip.
Come on, Elmer.
He's gonna buck me off.
He can throw you into the water. You did it.
Yay!
So
Let's do it in a row.
You get Elmer under control, and you give him the spur, and he takes off charging in. So you're going to spend 2 AP for a charge move, and this is the rest of your APs. And you're now going to make a simple melee attack versus this creature.
Oh!
And you miss him.
Can I?
You are now engaged in melee combat with it.
Can I
Effort.
spend?
Nope.
Can I spend my point? Because
You don't have any more points.
no, don't we have fortune points?
Oh, you want to spend a fortune point? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could spend that.
I mean, we're probably getting close to these tonight,
This is a good time to do that, isn't it? So,
right? For you,
Wait. Do it.
let's do it. Oh, eat a bag of dicks.
and nothing changed. He's going to
Okay.
spend a misfortune point to have an additional AP.
He's gonna eat my face.
And he is going to hit you with his shovel.
Oh snap! You're the healing guy, lady.
I'm going back to be with Jimmy.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He swings at you and misses.
Nice.
Good boy, Elmer.
I don't know how, but he did. Alright. So, we'll go ahead then and that takes us down the initiative ladder to Hagen. Hagen, you are dodging swarms of insects at the moment.
Doing cartwheels and getting out of the way.
You spent 1 AP to do that. You have 2 AP left. What else would you like to do?
Well, I am going to try to go ahead and since I'm back here, I'm not running up on this thing. I'm gonna try to throw one of my daggers.
Okay. Go ahead and throw a dagger.
Hold on. Let's see. I got 2 AP, right?
Yep. Throwing a dagger would be one of them.
Right. I want to take aim, maybe, and so I get a +10 base chance.
Okay.
Do I put that as a
You can
routine then?
Yeah, you can change it to routine or add 10 to situational modifier. It's your choice. And if you succeed, you get an extra fury die for damage, right? Or does it make it easier? I was trying to remember. I think it makes it easier. You actually reduce
yeah, I think it
it.
just makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier. So yeah, if you take an aim, then yes, you reduce it, the difficulty to hit. So that's all you're doing. And you miss.
Shit.
You throw one, whew, whizzes over its shoulder, hits down in the dirt somewhere on the other side of the river bank. You want to spend a fortune point too?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right, Meraki.
Charging in.
It's 2 AP for
Do
the
I have-
charge.
Do I have to actually charge?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, I wasn't sure how far away I actually am.
you're close enough. You can charge in around. You just have to spend the 2 AP for the movement and the attack. It's like all considered one like maneuver. So if you hit,
Okay.
you get an extra fury die.
And this is... Oh, I roll the weapon, not the melee.
You roll your simple melee. Oh, that's a critical hit. Okay, so your damage was a 1, but because of your bonuses, you have an 8. What you need to do now is you need to roll an additional d6 for your charge. And that explodes, so roll another 6. And that explodes, so roll another 6. And that explodes, so roll another 6.
Damn, girl.
Finally, we're done.
Holy
So,
shit.
That is 8. That is 14, 26, 27.
Judy
That
dead.
was straight drop me.
That puts him at 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on a second. I gotta read.
I would be instantly grievously wounded.
Yeah, I'd be dead.
Okay. Yep. All right. You thrust your spear right through its chest, and it lets out this unholy howl. And
That's right.
It staggers backwards with your flamed hardened spear, ran all the way through it. But he's not dropped to the ground. And more importantly, you notice he's not bleeding.
He screamed like
Hagen?
he got stabbed, though. So.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not Hagen. Everest. You see this.
Yes, sir.
You see this happen. Meraki runs her spear clear through, and it staggers back a few steps, grabs hold of the spear with one hand, but it's still just standing there. It didn't drop to the ground at all. That attack that she hit it with would have killed nearly any other man you know.
Can I roll a scrutinize to see if I can determine if it seems like it did damage it, though?
Yeah. It definitely put a hole in it.
Okay, that's good. All right. So what I want to do is one of my actions. I want to take cover. Is there a tree nearby or something?
Yeah, there's trees all over the place.
All right, cool. I want to get behind a tree.
Okay, so
And
that's one
then
AP.
Yeah, and then we'll use one other AP to take aim at this thing.
Okay.
To get myself a +10, which basically cancels out my ignore 1 skill rank for my attack. So I'm just gonna roll it flat out. And then attack. Oh, give me a second. Alrighty. Ugh.
You missed.
I'm gonna use a fortune.
You're gonna use it? All right.
Yeah. And I'll try again.
I'm still at 2.
Ugh, even worse. Well, fortune points never actually result in a good roll for me. I don't think I've had a good one.
You haven't had a good one yet.
Yeah, so I just
all right then. So go ahead and you didn't get anything else done, but you have taken cover.
Yeah, that's been.
Nigel, you have a spray of insects, bees, everything just smashing up against your shield as you duck down behind it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It says gain +3, +6, or +9 DT. So how much is this tree? Because it's based on the height and stuff.
Oh, on the height of the tree? Or how
Yeah,
much of your body it covers, basically,
depending
right?
on height of cover. Yeah, how much of your body's covered.
Okay,
yeah.
well, this is more about width of cover. It's plenty big enough for you to take full bonus. So.
Okay, +9. Okay, all right. I'll just add that
That
early
is,
in.
You know that because that is the reason why Treefell exists, is because the trees here grow larger than anywhere else, and they were needed to form siege engines. So that's why Treefell exists to begin with, is because of the size of the trees.
I got it. Okay, I'll throw that in my temporary modifier for as long as I'm taking cover.
Yeah.
All right, Nigel's going to go ahead and focus his attention on swinging his shield in such a way that he can crush and bat these nuisance creatures out of the air.
Alrighty.
Guessing simple melee?
Yeah, simple melee. And you're not hitting much. Or
Hope.
You're hitting, it's just they're a formless swarm of stuff. So it doesn't seem to be doing any good.
All right. Am I able to? That's just 1 AP. Can I go ahead and do a leadership role to try to rally the people up front?
Yeah. There's a on the perilous stunts. I think there's a perilous stunt that does that. Let me look at the combat actions real quick. Or special action. I think maybe it's under special action. Inspiring words. Make leadership test. Number of allies equal to your FB. Add +1 damage and peril threshold. Usable once per combat. So yes, you can make your leadership test. And I don't know what your FB is, but that many allies can gain +1 damage. And
okay. It is only 2 at the moment, but there's 2 people up there, so that's good.
All right, make that leadership roll. And you try talking, but you just get a bug flies in your mouth, and you just end up spitting it out, and you don't actually get out any inspiring words.
All right, well, that was my round.
Shadowy Figure's turn. Shadowy Figure with a spear, and Nadia or Meraki still holding the other end of it. He pulls himself through closer to you with his shovel, gets right up in your face.
I growl at him.
You have to make a resolve check.
No!
It has the skill. It has the trait Sanity Blasting. So when you first get close enough to really encounter it, and Nadia will have to make this as well.
But I don't have any sanity to begin with.
I know, that's why. That's your Achilles heel. Oh, that's a critical fail.
Oh,
Flippin'. That's a good one. Good roll.
You're going to be subject to terror.
You barely passed.
Nadia passes. But Meraki
Hey,
is
I've
going to
seen
be
some
filled
shit
with
today.
terror. Meraki, do you have any traits? Talents, I mean? Look on your talents page. You might have a talent that might save you.
Talents. No. I mean, unless this counts as like frost damage or cold weather.
No. I didn't know if you had indifference or if you had... I couldn't
No,
remember
I
what
don't.
Slayers get. Because you get Bad Axe, and you get... I thought you had something that helps you
Yeah.
resist...
No, I have Bad Axe, and then I have Die Hard, which just reduces my time to and I never bleed.
that's the attitude.
That's right, you don't bleed. That's the one you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing that's going to help you with this.
Yeah, nothing that helped me with anything mental, but a lot of stuff that helps me with physical.
Quickly getting to terror here real fast. Make sure I know what terror does. Here we are. Terror. By far the most intense of emotions, terror is provoked after situations where grim realizations of the unnatural and unimaginable world come true. It's intense and harrowing, provoking the worst, and shattering the minds of the weak-willed. That's cool. What does it do statistically? Okay, here we go. Yeah, 3d10 plus 3 mental peril is coming your way, plus 3 corruption.
Oh my god,
no, I'm sorry.
I may as well just be incapacitated.
9 corruption. Ooh,
Ouch.
9 corruption.
Cool, you have a giant paperweight now.
So 22 plus 3, 25 mental peril, and 9 corruption.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
Everybody get
I'm
that,
down.
Or just
I'm out.
So you're incapacitated. You're not down.
Yes.
You stand there, shaking, unable to do anything else, as this thing pulls itself towards you on that spear that you have impaled through him.
And I'm sorry, you said 9 corruption?
9 corruption, which goes in there in your alignment bar.
Yeah, yeah, I got that.
And it is going to hit you with its breath. Yep, it's still good enough for it. Actually, it doesn't have to roll to hit you because you're helpless. So, you're going to take...
What do we know about this thing?
He opens his mouth, and another swarm of beetles and flies and bees come pouring out, and just right into Meraki's mouth, and they begin to sting her face and everything else around her, and she takes 9 damage. Luckily, I rolled really low.
Okay, where do I keep track of that?
Okay, on the second page under talents and trappings, you'll see a similar set of things like you do for peril, or it'll say damage track. So that'll probably move you down a spot.
Yeah, I'm lightly wounded.
So you are lightly wounded from this thus far. And then it takes its shovel, and it swings at Nadia.
How is it swinging when it's impaled?
Because it's undead. So
'Cause it can.
It gives no fucks about your wounds. And it hits Nadia.
So I need what?
Like, are you gonna
block?
spend an AP to try to parry?
Well, are we restarted?
Yeah, we're in a new round. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and parry.
Okay, so make a parry roll. You parry. So it swings with its shovel, and you bat it away with your spear. Oh, I'm sorry. First, you made your roll, didn't you? Yeah, never mind. You're fine.
Yeah.
All right then. So that'll bring us to Zelina.
Okay. Do I have any lard left?
What? Yeah.
Do I have any...
You can take out another dab and try again.
I will try again.
Now, listen. That cost you 1 AP to cast. You now have a 2 AP. You can do 2 channel powers and run the risk of 2 chaos dice for chaos manifestations, but it'll give you a plus 20 to the roll.
Oh my god, should I do it?
Do it.
I'm gonna do it because everybody got a little injured there, and that was not good.
Right.
All right then.
And our powerhouse is crying in a corner.
Yeah. Okay, so I can do it as easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you fail.
No!
Roll 2d6.
Shit.
1s or 6s is bad. Oh, you made the first one. Oh, you got a 1!
No!
Yay, chaos manifestation time!
This is bad, guys.
Yeah. I can kind of gather that. I figure maybe it's a good chaos manifestation, you know, like a friend. Maybe we'll have a new friend.
Or like another arm, you know? It's not cool.
Let me quickly find that chart, because that's a good one.
Another arm can be useful.
We're gonna be in game 3 and we're gonna party wipe.
Now, I don't think we're quite at party wipe territory yet. I mean, it's getting bad, but well, most of you haven't been touched yet. To be fair, most of you haven't even taken damage, so I don't know what you're complaining about.
We're just scared.
Well, you're taking down our tank and our mage, so
I might have a problem finding what I'm looking for here. Here we go. General and Petty Manifestations, a D100 roll. This is generalist magic, so... Zelina?
Do I need to make that, or
Yeah, you have to make a D100 percentile roll.
Ignore that.
Whoa, those are 20s. That was close.
I know. I said ignore that.
A 22.
Oh no.
Cold sweat. All those within a few yards around you break out into a cold sweat for 3 hours. So, everyone who didn't charge in, so Nigel, Hagen, and Everest all break out into a cold sweat immediately.
And me too,
and
right?
And you as well.
Okay, that's not at all conspicuous.
But worse, it didn't work. He's still holding his shovel. Nadia.
Yep. Well, shit, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna stick it, because that's what I do.
Yeah, you're up in its face. You no longer get charging, so you're not getting any extra. Well, you are mounted, so yeah, you'd still get the extra fury die if you can hit it. So go ahead and take your swing at him. You hit.
Yay! So
And you
D6.
did 9.
So let me go again.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. Roll again. Alright, now you're done. Because I forgot to add your extra die for being mounted. So, yeah. So you did... Yep. Alright. So you run your spear through it, and as you do, it lets out this bellowing howl, and its form collapses into a swarm of bugs that flies off into the forest behind you. All the other swarms immediately leave to go catch back up with that main swarm that just takes off. Meraki's spear falls into the river.
It's gotta get cleaned off. It was dirty.
Can I come out from behind this tree yet?
Might as well stay there. I mean, you're better holding it up than you are out here.
Whatever. You saw those arrows come from my direction. I did something this time.
Yeah, we're lucky it didn't hit one of us.
Yes, I'm lucky.
As you stand there in the water, Nadia, across on the other side on the ground, you're pretty sure you see something. You catch just a hint of it. Something in the dirt.
I want to go to investigate.
You march Elmer across the rest of the river, and you look down, and you find an edge of what looks like something carved out of wood, sticking up out of the dirt, and it has a thin, kind of leathery sort of band that comes with it. You pull it up out of the dirt and you start to clean it off. It looks like some little carving with a kind of a leathery rope, like a necklace.
Do we have any townspeople with us?
No. Nope. They all went in the other group.
So, would I be able to look at that and recognize that as anything?
Well, if he brings it back over and starts to show it around here a bit, you can take a look at it. You can scrutinize test it if you want to.
Okay, I'll wait till you.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring it back to the group to see if they can identify it, because I don't know what it is. Wasn't in my military training.
So you show it to the rest of the group.
Is that a stand?
Anyone who wants to make a standard scrutinize can make a standard scrutinize. Oh.
I'm going to assume I pass.
What does match mean?
Okay, so if you roll a match, it's critical.
Oh, nice.
So if it's below your rating and it's a match, it's a critical success. If it's above your rating and it's a match, it's a critical fail. So that's a critical success.
So
Yeah.
tell us what it is.
What's anyone? Were you the only one who's gonna look at it? Okay. So yeah, you take a look at it and you dip it down into the water and you kind of clean it off and get all the gunk out of it. And you can very quickly identify that this is a hand carved little necklace trinket sort of thing, and it has initials on it. The top initial is an M and the bottom is an A.
Look at this, and I point out the initials to everyone.
And it's kind of carved in a way that leads you to believe that there's another part of it.
I think there's another piece of this.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Like a puzzle or something?
Would I be able to gain any additional insight with my trade skills?
Yeah.
Alright, let's give that a shot.
It's a proper adventure after all, with puzzles to solve.
Am I still incapacitated?
You're one step back up. You're at ignore 3 ranks. Oh, look at critical success as well. Holy cow.
Damn.
Suddenly the critical
Nice.
successes are coming out of everywhere. Yeah, you take a look, and it's most certainly a hand-carved version of the, like, best friends kind of necklace sort of deal. Only it doesn't say
Aw.
best friends, it has, like, somebody's initials carved in.
God, that's hilarious.
BFF.
You've seen these things sold in places.
That's so funny.
Skeeter monsters need love too, right?
And you stand there looking at it, and you look around at each other, and that's where we're gonna wrap for tonight.
I'll
That was
go
really
ahead
fun.
and convey to the group was that a best friend's necklace?
Yes, I believe it may be.
All right.
Excellent. That was a lot of fun. Yes.
So
That was great.
I
Kind
gotta.
of dozing off a little bit here and there, but I managed to catch my wins, and I needed them.
Yeah, it is no problem. I appreciate you guys being able to tough it out for the rest of this, for the little combat scene that we had there. So, luckily, it didn't go
Yeah,
any
that
further
was
south there than it was about to. It could have gotten bad.
Yeah, that was ideal combat for me. Take cover, shoot at things. That's good. I can still help with that bow,
So,
which I will give back to you, Nigel, whenever I.
for our viewers out there, there's a few announcements I gotta make. First and foremost, if you're enjoying the Zweihander action, tomorrow on the Twitch channel Grim and Perilous Gaming, you'll find me and Leopold here, as we'll be portraying 2 characters in a game run by Matt Jowett over on the official Zweihander channel, running the module Enemy Within, where he plays an alchemist and I play a nun. Yeah, you heard that right.
The battle nun.
The Battle Nun. So, you can find us there tomorrow at, I think it's 9 p.m. is when that will start. So, you'll be able to find us there. Saturday night, we have Lords of Gallipie Games is running a one-shot for me, and DM Chuck from Defenders of Cobalt, and Matt Jowett from Grim Perilous Gaming, I think will be there. And TT2KB's very own Jeff, from who just player Skeezer, Wisdom Check, co-host with me, will be there as well. And maybe Steven the DM. I haven't heard back from him if he can make Saturday or not, but we're going to be doing a one-shot, and I think it's going to get streamed on Notorious DMG. So if you haven't followed Notorious DMG yet, you should. We'll be playing there Saturday night. A brand new game, Lords of Gallipie. It's this guy's game that he has created, him and his friend, and they're publishing it as an RPG. So it's going to be our first crack at it. It should be a good time. Next week, Wednesday night, we're starting Vermintide Night. It's a video game that's based on Warhammer Fantasy. So if you like Zweihander, it kind of lives in that Warhammer fantasy sort of world. You might like to watch us play the video game Vermintide, where if you're somebody in the chat, you can put in commands to decide what kind of enemies show up in the video game to kill the people playing it. It's actually kind of cool. You get to vote on if they get item buffs and stuff. Like, it's actually kind of interactive and kind of fun. So you can show up and do that. And then next Thursday, we're not here for Terra and Treefell, but next Thursday, same time here, we'll be playing some Sea of Thieves online. A little fun role play video game that we like to dick around in sometimes. Oh yes, and we gotta do our corruption rolls before we leave. So real quickly, everyone, roll a d10 and try to roll higher than the corruption number you have on your sheet.
Woo. I did it.
If you roll higher than the number on your sheet, on a D10, if you roll higher, you get 1 order rank. If you roll lower, you get 1 chaos rank. Thank you for the reminder to do corruption. Can't forget that. That's not
So
how we win.
Does our corruption rating the sum of, or how does that work? Like,
So throughout the game session, you gain corruption for things. Like Meraki just got 9 corruption for standing face to face with this incredibly scary undead creature. Nadia got a couple for not being able to save the boy at the beginning. And then at the end of the session, you roll a d10, and if you don't beat that rating, you gain a chaos rank towards your alignment. And if that chaos gets to 10 or order gets to 10, it's a race between the two. If you get all the way to 10 chaos first, you get a disorder. Or a chaos mutation. If you get 10 order ranks, you get a fate point that can save your life.
nice.
And then they reset. The moment one of them gets to 10, they reset back to 0, and you start the race over again.
Yep, I only got 1, and that was because I was around that dead kid.
So we
Trying to-
finished up corruption. I think I got my announcements out for tonight. Once again, thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Fruitzilla, for the bits. I know I saw a few people sub tonight. Some of them are my players here. Some of them are fellow TT2KBers. I think I saw Fawn Satir sub earlier in the night too, so thank you, Fawn. Everybody for coming out supporting. And we will catch you all soon. Anybody else here have anything they want to say before we go? Shosh, when are you on next?
I am on Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. GMT minus 6, or is it? Yeah, 5. No, 6, right? Because of the time set change, I think.
6, sounds right. Alright, so that's on Shoshi's Minis, if you aren't following that. Players, you got 2 weeks and another 100 RP, so find those Achilles heels and see if you can start patching them up a little bit.
Guess who's putting a point in resolve?
I can only imagine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, enjoy everybody. We will catch you next time. Let's hit the outro.
Thanks, Dustin.